A former governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, on Wednesday said it was a disservice to the nation for military officers to acquire so much training, battlefield exposure, and equipment mastery in diverse operations only for them to be retired when they have so much to offer the upcoming generation. Now, speaking at the official unveiling of the book, Warrior Ethos in Perspective, authored by Major General Charles Ofoche, retired, Dr. Mimiko called for a review of certain government policies, especially regarding the terms and conditions of service of the armed forces of Nigeria. Recalling that officers are retired at 56, 58, and 60 years of age, Mimiko said, and I quote, "Thank God the country is beginning to realize this. In academia, the retirement age is now 70 years, as it is in the judiciary. I think 60 years is, considering all that training, is a disservice to the nation." Well, we have Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joining us now to discuss this call and how that could impact career progression of serving officers and morale. Always great to have you in the studio, Mr. Sobowale. Good afternoon.
Pleasure, yes, you. Right.
So what could be some of the political and strategic motivations behind this call? Because we know behind every call that is made in this country, politically speaking, there's got to be some kind of, there's something behind it. So what could be behind this sudden rejigging or thoughts about the retirement age for military officials?
Former Governor Mimiko is speaking somewhat in a vacuum.
Okay.
Perhaps because, he was a democratic governor who has never seen military intervention. But he served when General Obasanjo, then president, when Obasanjo was civilian president of Nigeria. But I'm sure he knows that Obasanjo was at the time the military president of this country. So that's why I said he spoke in a vacuum. I won't say he spoke out of context. He spoke in a vacuum. And he needs to be reminded that perhaps with what is happening in Zimbabwe, which is just hard, the president there is playing safe by firing the by cautioning the army chief. You see, the fear is that of military intervention. When the army becomes politicized, it is difficult for it to ever revert to promotion based on meritocracy. Even in the civil service, when you get to the level of permanent secretary, it is politicized, but they don't ask people to go on retirement. You see, but you know it's now the senior. That's in the public service. But when you talk of the military, you are talking of men under arms. Men under arms. So once you promote a junior officer over above his boss, the safer thing in terms of security is for seniors to go. In the civil service, the senior permanent secretary remain, although they know they can never be secretary to the government. But you don't do that with men under arms. That's the issue. And you have to differentiate between military intervention in politics, which makes certain ethos impracticable, and the politicization of promotions in the military, who are men under arms. That's it. Let's leave it at that for now.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. 2 points resonate with me. What you said about him speaking in a vacuum, but not out of context, and like the angles he brought about the potential politicization of the army, right?
Of promotions.
Of promotions of the army. Thank you so much. Now, just in the event that this is taken into consideration and implemented, what do you think the impact might be on when it comes to the morale and motivation of younger military personnel that might be awaiting senior leadership opportunities?
You see, the damage has been done already. That is what he's saying. And that's why I said he spoke in the vacuum. He knows it is not possible. Okay, take the police, even the police. You have the Police Public Service Commission. But if the president determines who is to be Inspector General, all the others will have to go. We pay a lot in terms of unexpected detachment or retirement benefits on account for that. But see, security is the prevailing thing. Because if, okay, like in Niger Republic now, the man who took over 2 years ago has now made himself president for 5 years. And he said that 5 years is even elastic. You get me? That it depends on the security situation on the ground. That is the specter of military intervention. But you see, in the case of, you can't practice what you practice in the civil service, in the military. But this, I repeat it again, these are men under arms. Sam? Yes.
But, okay, with age comes wisdom. That's the saying. Is there any benefits for keeping these individuals for longer than the retirement age? Are there any benefits of having a 70-plus military officer amongst the younger ones?
There are so many young retirees in the military.
Okay, that's true too.
Because once they get to the top, not through the ranks, but through coup. Right. Even on some occasions, there was a time Obasanjo was trying to purge them and said any military of, okay, that was when he became a civilian president, that any military officer who has been governor before and who is still in the barrack should go. Because he has tasted blood or power, literally, and it cannot be the same again. So it is the nature of politics. It doesn't happen in European countries or in the US where the military don't intervene. You remember a time even Trump just said the chief of the defense chief visiting him in the White House, and he just wanted to address some people, and that man accompanied him. They censored Trump, they censored the man, that he should not use the military for such purpose. They are supposed to be seen and not heard, to defend the territorial integrity of the nation, yes. But our own have tasted power. They've tasted power. And once somebody younger, somebody junior is appointed, the others know that they have to lay down their arms and go into retirement. It's for security purposes and stability of the nation. So you have two issues you are contending with now. Military intervention in politics, which you don't pray for, because you have an example, it's threatening in Zimbabwe and the man is arresting it, but it has taken place successfully in Niger, even though our president, as president of ECOWAS, tried gallantly to stop it. It was not successful for obvious reasons. In fact, one thing I was thinking of before coming here is that, the chief of defense staff spoke at this book launch. And, he was saying that people, the ethos, the book is about ethos, that even if you are fighting insurgents and you are not being successful, but your resilience, your discipline should see you through. But in our own case, often all over the world, all of West Africa, what people are fighting now are jihadists, terrorists, kidnappers, and so on. So I think they should inculcate the officer cadre to be able to teach them how to discern between loyalty to the nation and loyalty to your religion, because that is what is causing our problem now. Since it is a war against people of a particular religion, those in the military who adhere to that religion are bound to have some empathy, and that will slow down the progress towards eliminating terrorism. If they can incorporate that in their syllabus at the Defense Academy, that will be brilliant.
Wonderful that all these additions or edits should be made before we even talk about this aspect. Yes. It's great that you highlighted them, Mr. Sobowale. Now, you mentioned examples of what we are seeing in Niger, what we're seeing in Zimbabwe, and also mentioned a little bit about the United States. Yeah. If you were to give advice regarding this particular retirement age matter and say, this is the country we should look towards to model this aspect after, which country would that be?
You see, military intervention, Cynthia, is an aberration. And once the aberration becomes the norm, you see, the standards are different. To play safe, you get to now, once you promote a junior officer, you have to make sure the others who are GOCs, who have arms under their command, they just have to go. Okay. Or else, there'll be a rebellion, there'll be a coup. And that is not desirable. In fact, military intervention is never desirable. But it has been our lot. And people have metamorphosed from military presidency to civilian presidency. So that's our lot.
Okay.
Yes.
So it seems like this discussion might taper out. Do you think this discussion is going to become something that becomes a part of the larger conversation, or do you think it's going to fade out amidst all of the many other traumas and struggles we have currently in the nation? Is this a priority?
Nobody prays for military intervention.
That's true.
But you see, the way Nigerians whip up every small problem now, some people are praying for it by the back door. But it is the duty of the government to secure its presidency. A government is any government that consistently maintains a grip on the use of violence to maintain its rule within a given territorial area. Any government was assault will not close its eyes and allow people to destabilize the polity. That was what the government tried to do in Rivers State, and some people are raising dust. I don't see anything wrong with it.
You go from retirement
I've
age to
just
Rivers
said
State.
that. Yes. That is our rule of law. Okay. What is happening in the center is the rule of law. The arms of power are cooperating. But in Rivers, the sitting governor eliminated the legislature.
Well,
and the lad, and the Supreme Court saw through that and said you can't eliminate the legislature and you can't act lawless. And the president moved in to avert violence. That's the rule of law.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, you've reiterated your stance regarding the River State matter. I'm sure you're really thrilled with that. But we'd like to thank you for your time and insight as always. Thank you for joining us here.